Hello everybody, Loki Magics, another day, another video, but today we're going to talk about these books because it is so easy to mess it up and use them in the wrong spots, and I don't want you to do that. So today we're going to break it down and I'm going to show you exactly where you should use these books, and hopefully this will help you out. Now naturally this might not be the perfect scenario for everyone, but in general this should be a very good guide on where to use your books. So let's get into it. The first person you want to use your flame books on will be Morgan, and all you have to do is get very lucky and land 4 of these books into her A2. If you can land it all in her A2, it is over. Don't worry about it. Move on to the next hero. The number 2 guy on my list is Sergius. I'm telling you, this guy right here, if you can land 2 flame books in his A3, you're going to love him. I know you have to get them through the arena shop and the clan shop, but at the end of the day, if you pull it off, great unit. You're going to have a lot of fun. Number 3 on my list is Claudius. Now this one here, all you need to do is put 2 flame books in her A1 and you're going to be just fine, because she could spam this A1 over and over depending on how you have her skilled up, right? Her passives allow her to do multiple attacks back to back. So definitely very useful, very impactful. All right, these 3 up here are my honorable mentions because I feel like their relic weapons aren't that impactful as the 3 we mentioned earlier, but definitely good flame relics. And if you have some left over, you might as well use them. And I think these 3 are perfect for that scenario. When it comes to the rare flame books, super easy. There's really not too many places where it'll impact your account, but 100% right here, this A3 on Rosier, you have to use it all here. There's no arguing it. Rosier's A3 is very powerful, and you'll be very glad you put all your rare flame books in this spot. Now, let's move over to the Frost books. You guys knew this is coming. When it comes to Frost, 100% this right here, man. Betty's A2. Just get this done. That's all you need. No Betty, no problem, because you could use your Frost books on this A3 right here, and you're gonna get just about the same DPS. So no regrets. Definitely just work on this A3 and move on to the next character. For the Frost books, after I get Betty or Irwit's relics to where I want them to be, I'll definitely look into Gillian's A2, because this chick heals for a lot, and the more books you put in the A2, the more heals you're going to do. So 100%, if you're lacking in healing power, this is exactly where you need to put your legendary Frost books. Ain comes in the 4th spot that I would recommend, and it's only because you really need a strong healer and DPS, right, before anything else. But once you got that sorted, max out her A2 and then move over and max out her A3, and you're going to have a very powerful champion that's going to work really well with your team composition pretty much everywhere in the game. And I think the Frost relic is her strongest. So these 4 heroes here, they all have really good Frost relics. However, like the last category, I just feel like they're not as impactful for your account right off the bat. These are like flex extra spots, right? And then Frost Morgan is very strong, but there's no point to have a Frost and a flame relic when you're starting off, right? You can only use one, so that's why these are in the honorable mention category. So when it comes to the rare Frost books, this is a little bit tricky because it's going to depend on what you're missing on your account. If you don't have a strong healer, then you want to go with Sarah and get her A2 up, because Sarah is a very good healer. Now let's say you do have a good healer and you use your legendary books on Jillian. All right, now you could maybe use it on Cormac and use it on his A3 to get more DPS, right? And then lastly, Anguish. Now Anguish is great for Gurgles early game, so using some books on him might not be a bad idea, but once again, it really depends on your account, because maybe you don't need to and you could squeeze by and just do enough damage to get through there, right? You might have Lancelot or Rosier. So that's why in this category, when it comes to rare books, it's really dependent on your account. But these 3 are definitely deserving of the books if needed. as of right now, there isn't too many Wind Relic weapons that really stand out, right? I feel like the Flame and Frost ones have way better relics across the board. So the most interesting one I found for the Wind Relic, I feel like, is Sigrun's A3. This A3 looks pretty crazy, man. I mean, yes, this is a charge ability, so you're kind of missing out a turn, but this one seems like you do a lot of damage and decrease the attack gauge by 90%. So if you do have her Wind Relic, I feel like this one here would be a safe bet and one of the first places I would put the books in. The second place, I suppose, will be Morgan's Wind Relic. Now, like I said earlier, if you already have a Flame Relic, there's really no need to do another weapon for her. You can only take one into battle, right? But hey, sometimes, you know, using a Wind is better than Flame. So I would just put it here in her A2 because there's really not much when it comes to the Wind Relics. And lastly, we have to talk about the Rare Storm books. Now, this category is a little bit tricky also because if you already have a DPS champion, then you might not want to use it all on K. But if you don't have a DPS champion, putting these books into her A2 and A3 is not a bad choice at all. And then the same thing goes for Turn. Let's say you already have Sarah, then you don't need Turn at all. So you could skip to another person, right? But if you need a healer, then using all your books on Turin to max out all her stats when it comes to the relic weapon, Storm Relic weapon, it wouldn't be a bad idea. And then finally, you have Akalon. Now, this isn't really necessary, but fighting that bear can be annoying if those recovery disservices doesn't land, right? Because that means you have to do the whole fight pretty much over. So just adding a few more to Akalon's A2 can boost up that percentage to 90%, and that might help you a lot. So when it comes to these three champions, once again, it's going to depend on your account. And this brings us to the end of the video. Now, remember, it is your account and you know the strengths and weaknesses of your account. However, the champions mentioned in this video, I feel like are safe bets. These are the ones that helped me the most when I booked them up. So it should help you out too. But like I said, always think about where you want to use your books before you use it because it is a very scarce resource. And anyways, with all that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Take care.